the brands. So the brands that you actually distribute and work with, and you're saying that you create brands yourself, or you're in the midst of doing that. Probably if you can give us an indication of the brands that you do represent and work with, but also if you want to, mention any of the brands that you have, I'd love to understand what you go through from woe to go to bring a brand to life. Do you start with the research side of things, or do you start with an idea or a hypothesis, or what's that? What does that look like? I know I know I'm probably asking you for a little bit of IP here, but
no, it's okay.
No, it's a interesting to understand the place where you need to start, because there's got to be a market need, but you also have to be passionate about the product. So you've got
Well, it's funny. So one of our brands is a feminine hygiene product called the Diva Cup. So that's a menstrual cup. And we got into this product because when I met my wife at college, she asked me to grab something from her bag. And I opened her bag and I said, "Oh, should I not be kind of going in here?" And she was like, "You'll never find anything in there." And I was like, "What does that mean?" And she explained to me that she doesn't use pads or tampons. She uses a Diva Cup. And I thought that was one of the oddest things I've ever heard, because this was years ago, obviously. So, and she knew what we did as a company. This was back when it was still my dad's business. And she said, "You guys should represent this brand." And so really that just got the kind of my brain ticking about, how many people would benefit from a brand like this, and when I started looking into it, we were really interested. So I just contacted them and said who we were. And that's how it kind of started. And that's how it started with a lot of our brands, is someone will bring it to our attention. At least the clients that we have, so the other one is True Earth, the eco-friendly way of doing your laundry. That was my mother-in-law. She was like, "Oh, have you guys heard about this brand?" And then I started looking around, and the more you hear it, the more you're like, maybe this could work. So again, I just wrote to them, and was really lucky that they were looking for an Australian distributor. And so we applied, and obviously, they interviewed us and they liked us, so we got the role. And that's how a lot of our international clients kind of happen. We sought them out after hearing about the brand and me doing some research on how I think it would go in a country like Australia, and how well they're doing overseas, and is there selling points. And that's what we were talking about before, is like, is there product differentiation? Do I think I could sell this into a major retailer? Do I think I could sell this online? Because one, they've already got a good customer base, or two, there's really something about this brand that I think is going to take off. And so for those two brands and some of the other brands were represented, that's how it started. For the ones we're manufacturing, it's very similar as well. We're doing an after sun product. And, like I like to be in the sun. I get burnt all the time by accident, and we had a brand that we represented for years, which I used to use on my sunburn, and you'd tan by the next day. And usually I'm a lizard, so I'd go out in the sun. You probably wouldn't be the same, mate.
My business partner Greg, I have to give him a plug here. We actually call him the lizard, because every time there's a moment of sun, and we're in Melbourne here, so we don't get a huge amount of it, but every time there's a moment of sun, he's got his shirt out and he's out there like on his laptop working away. So I'll
send him some product, mate, once it's done.
Done. Sounds good.
But really, it came out of a need for myself to have a product that really worked. And so we contacted them probably 6 months ago, because I didn't see them on shelf anymore. We'd kind of parted ways since my dad's business, and I thought maybe we can represent them again. And he's like, "Oh, I want to sell it." And so we bought that off them and spoke to the manufacturer, tweaked a few things. And then from there, excuse me, it's, branding and pricing. And so that's where we've just finished the branding today and sent the new design work off for the packaging to the manufacturer. So